Welcome to Real Talk, the podcast where we uncover the root causes of health issues as we explore holistic solutions to help you reclaim your health. I'm your host, Dr. Daniel Sproul, integrative health practitioner and professor. And today we're diving into one of the things that are most important and misunderstood, pillars of health, nutrition. Not calories, not fad diets. We're talking foundational nourishment, nutrients your body actually needs to function.
I'm Bernardo, and I'll be asking the questions you're thinking, but maybe too embarrassed to ask, like, do I really need vitamins? And can I just eat better?
Yeah, those are a lot of common questions that a lot of people are afraid to ask, especially to the practitioners. So today we're digging in deep in the concept of foundational nutrition. We're focusing on micronutrients, high quality supplements, functional testing, and how it all ties together to support your health from inside out. Whether you're feeling tired all the time, dealing with chronic symptoms, or just want to optimize your energy and focus, this episode's for you. So from an integrative health perspective, nutrition is a cornerstone. Supplements are tools, not substitutes for a good diet, but they can be vital when there's gaps in intake and absorption or increased needs to stress, medications, or underlying health conditions. So today we'll go one by one through the most common deficient nutrients, talk about natural sources, discuss how to test your levels, and what optimal, not just normal, looks like. And of course, Geraldo is with me to ask the real questions and share his take from a not clinical, boots on the ground perspective.
That is right.
Yeah. So this is a big topic here, nutrition.
Yeah. Well, thank you for having me,
Oh, yes. Yeah. Thanks for being here.
Does it make me a resident now? Like here?
You are stuck.
Oh, yes.
He is here. But all right, let's lay the groundwork before we jump on to individual nutrients. Today, we're talking about foundational supplements, not the trendy stuff, not the detox tea garbage. I mean, the core nutrients your body needs every single day to function. These are the things like quality multivitamin, vitamin B3 with K2, B complex, omega-3, vitamin C, and minerals like zinc. They're called foundational because they support basic systems like your energy production, immune function, your brain chemistry, hormone balance, and even detox pathways. Without them, your body is not doing its best and it can't be where it's gotten today. But it's probably cutting corners somewhere.
Okay, so you're saying that these are like building blocks, not optional extras?
Exactly. So think your body like a house. These nutrients are like bricks, woods, nails. In short, if you're short on materials, you might still build a house, but it's going to be crooked, drafty, and falling apart faster than it should. Same with your body. Low nutrients, low resilience, even if you feel fine for now. And how many people always say, I feel fine? And we run a test on them and they're not fine.
Yeah, I would agree with that, man.
That's a lot of us, right? We all think, I'm fine. But in reality, we're not. So here's the reality most people don't want to talk about even. Even with a healthy diet, you can have nutrient gaps. Our food just doesn't have the same nutrition it used to. Soil depletion has stripped minerals from our crops, especially our soils today, man.
Oh, yes.
So chemical laden too. So long distance shipping and storage degrade vitamins like C and B. I think that's a lot of people understand that, right?
I think this is why my go-to favorite frozen fruit might be blueberries.
Good reason. The other one, pesticides and chemicals increase oxidative stress and demand more nutrients to detox. Stress, alcohol, and medications, they all burn through key vitamins and minerals faster. And if your gut isn't absorbing well, like most of ours, even perfect food won't help much.
Wait, I just thought about this. So you said with the storage and the pesticides, is the spinach, is spinach not what it used to be?
Oh, pretty much. Spinach today has way less iron and magnesium than it did 50 years ago. You can still eat it, but you might still need backup. Plus, most of us aren't eating perfectly anyway. Like, who do you know that perfect without skipping meals?
Maybe just a bodybuilder. Those are the only ones that I could think of off the top of my head.
For sure. A lot of us stress eat. We eat the same 5 foods over and over. Guilty.
Oh, yeah. And well, those are the foods that kind of make us, because we don't want to throw our body a curveball. We're already getting used to what we like, so now it's those same 5 foods of yours might be your comfort food now.
Yeah, exactly. It's not realistic to think diet alone covers everything, especially if you're dealing with fatigue, brain fog, hormones, or sleep. And that's probably like everybody we know.
Most of us, yeah.
So we're on the right path. So this doesn't mean you have to live off pills. Supplements don't replace food. They support your body when food isn't enough, which is often more than people think. How many people do we know that just live on supplements because they saw it on some TikTok video?
They saw it on the website, yeah.
Yeah. So let me give an example. Say someone is feeling tired all the time. They think it's just lack of sleep or maybe stress, but underneath, they could have low B12 from poor gut absorption. Usually the other thing would be low vitamin D from working inside all day, low omega-3s from never eating fish. And I'm guilty, I don't like fish. Zinc deficiencies from plant-based diet, or they're burning through vitamin C and magnesium from chronic stress. And I think that's a big one that a lot of us are, right? Stress to daily activities, and especially if you're not substituting with vitamin C and magnesium, there's not left in your body. And I just one thing to touch on before we go forward is when I did my organic acid test, I thought I was good on vitamin C and I had 0 in my body. So it took me around like 4 grams daily to get my levels up. But I thought I was doing good, but realized my body's really under stress.
No, yeah, it takes some time. We're not here for a good time, we're here for a long time.
Yeah, I hope so. Right? So we pray.
We're here for a long time to have a good time, down the road.
Yeah, but you have to be in good health to have a good time. So you won't catch it in a basic checkup. Again, you will not catch this in a basic checkup. Your physicians do not test for these macronutrients and stuff. So they might test, D3 if you're lucky, B12, and that's about it. So you'll just hear your lab look normal. I think that's always, it's either your labs are normal or out of the range, but you'll never hear the word your labs are optimal. But you might not feel right.
Yeah, I've had that happen. I go in feeling like trash, and they're like, "You're fine." So it could be nutritional stuff,
for sure. So most doctors, remember, aren't trained to catch suboptimal nutrition unless it's full-blown deficiency like scurvy or rickets. Right, and a lot of people that have that have those symptoms, so you could look those up. So scurvy and rickets. I know it's big during the Navy days and stuff, and for people on the submarine and stuff, or just in general at war because they're not getting the right nutrition. But it's happening to common day people now, which is scary. So, but integrative health looks at the gray zone between okay and optimal, and that's where foundational supplements shine. So foundational supplements are especially powerful before things go wrong. You don't wait until your car breaks down to change the oil. Same with your health. And, hopefully a lot of people change their oil in their car.
I hope so too.
But if they do, then at the same side of the coin is, do you do this for your health? And the people usually will say, no,
life is like a car. You maintenance your car. Why not maintenance your body?
So they think though, you say, I go to the doctor once a year, and they blindly trust their primary physician with, hey, yeah, your labs look good, but inside, their car's broken and they don't know it. So that's, again, it goes based on education. So if you're in your 20s or 30s, now's the time to lock this in, because once fatigue, hormone imbalances, or inflammation show up, it takes longer to recover. And I would say, again, I've been through a lot of muddy water out there to get where I'm at. So I've been through, fatigue, hormone imbalance, inflammation. It's definitely not fun. So, whatever you could do to take care of yourself, do it now.
Yeah. So these aren't just people who are sick. Like, should I be taking this stuff even if I feel fine?
Definitely. I would say the whole point to stay ahead of the curve. If you're feeling fine, that's the perfect time to optimize, not coast. Foundational nutrition helps you handle stress better, think more clearly, and age with less friction. Again, see how many young people with full gray hair.
Yeah.
There's a reason, right? Everybody's, it's hereditary, I'm balding and stuff too. But is it? Right? On some people, right, it plays a certain role. If you're meant to be bald, it could happen, but it doesn't have to happen as quick. We see this with a lot of issues with hormones and people have deficiencies, a lot of premature gray hairing and balding. So that's all people need to look into. So again, it's not about mega dosing everything. It's about knowing your body, running a few smart tests, and supporting what you actually need. Again, a lot of people over supplement when they shouldn't be. And again, a lot of these people, they say all these fad diets and stuff, but it's like fad supplements. They saw that TikTok, so let's try it.
They saw it. It is a new trendy thing now, it's like, hey, yeah, but there's a lot of diets like that, there's a lot, and it might work for some and it might not work for everybody. You have, what is it? You got the keto diet and you got the carnivore diet. Is it the pescatarian diet?
Pescatarian, there's vegan, there's everything out there. And again, it's not a one-stop shop. You have to really test to see what works for you and your body. So again, like we said, mega dosing. Now let's talk about quality, because not all supplements are created equal. Cheap supplements are often loaded with synthetic ingredients like folic acid and cyanocobalamin that many people can't process, and we'll talk more on that in a little bit. Low bioavailability of minerals like magnesium oxide, which basically passes right through you. So again, it's not really getting absorbed, it's just going through you. Artificial colors, dyes, and fillers. So when someone says, I tried supplements, they didn't work, my first question is, what are you taking? And how many people do we know, like not even friends or family, but just seeing purchases online or in stores, and they're buying the junk of the junk of the junk just because of the dollar amount, and they think it's going to work for them, and it's going to cause liver damage and all these other damages, inflammation.
Man, I definitely bought some of those mega bottles for $5. I thought I was being smart and saving money.
But that's all of us, man.
That's what I thought. That's exactly what I thought. I was like, yes. But knowing what I know now, it's like, come on, man, how could I have been so dumb? How could I have been so blind? It's like, yes, am I paying less for a bigger bargain?
Yeah, there's some supplements that are over the counter, kind of like that. Let's say it's Sam's or Costco, like, what is it? What's that one brand? Smart Research? No, Sports Research. The omega-3, the black bottle. Like, those are pretty good. Those have good research behind them and stuff too. But a lot of the other stuff are just filled with fillers and stuff. And people don't understand, a lot of times you take, say, vitamin D and it has fillers in it. It may be getting your levels up a little bit on vitamin D if it has vitamin D in it. Right? A lot of those are not third-party tested, but say it does have vitamin D. The problem is the filler inside's causing inflammation in your gut now, or it's causing bacterial overgrowth, or it's causing inflammation in the kidneys, liver, stomach, and so forth, raising the blood pressure, and you're thinking you're doing a good job. And it's no fault of anybody's. It's just you need to take your health seriously. And again, if you can't afford to be healthy, you really can't afford to be sick. So same goes for supplements. Spend extra money, buy quality supplements so they actually work. And there's a lot of research behind the top brands versus the brands, no names you might find, or some of the supplements they find out they're really coming from like China, India. And you think it's made here.
So bootleg vitamins are becoming a thing right now.
And you don't know what they're laced with, right? I mean, I don't know. It's just scary to me. So just remember, I do get it. Those shelves look convincing, right? We walk through Target, Meijer, Walmart, all those stores, and you see, oh man, look at all these supplements, and getting that health kick and think, I'm doing good. But low quality supplements are like fast food. They look like they have the basics, but they're missing the stuff your body actually needs to function well. You want methylated B vitamins like methylfolate or methylcobalamin. Jetlated minerals like magnesium glycinate and zinc biglycinate. No junk fillers or additives. And sometimes you want the nutrients spread out, not jammed all in one pill. A basic multivitamin is a good start, but you still need an extra vitamin D, omega-3s, or a standalone B complex depending on your lab results. So, and this brings us to what I always come back to: test, don't guess. Because again, people blindly take supplements they do not need. And it can't be. I mean, some people have great magnesium levels. They take magnesium and they shouldn't need to. Other ones, multivitamins are always a good one to take. But a lot of people are, I'm taking, I saw one in a chat room I kind of commented on. she was taking 100,000 IU of vitamin D.
Wow.
Every like 5 days or something like that. Her levels were like mega off the charts, which causes like all these other health issues. And I was like, that's way too much.
I a couple of years back when I got my blood work, when I found out about my vitamin D level being low, that's when I was subscribed. They had given me a prescription of, I think it was like 50,000 IUs, and they would tell me, hey, just take them in the beginning of the week or take them on Sunday. But to me, I feel like that was too much. But I think I only took a few of them, but I ended up going to like like a health store, and I ended up getting I think it was either 5 or 10,000 IUs, which I felt a lot more comfortable, but I would take it daily instead of the whole big chunk on Sunday, Sunday night, Monday morning.
Yeah. The mega dosing could, really mess up your body. And a lot of doctors do. Yeah, you're low on vitamin D. Here's 50,000 injection or 100,000 injection. It just overloads the body. You can't deal with that much vitamin D. You don't get that much vitamin D from the sun. No. What makes somebody think to inject somebody with that?
Not 50,000 IUs in horns.
Yeah, no. So you can run simple tests to check vitamin D levels, omega-3 index, organic acid markers for B vitamins, antioxidants, detox stress, and more.
So I don't just randomly take all this stuff and hope for the best.
No, but how many people do?
Well, there's plenty out there. There is plenty out there, and then the online, or they'll go to like some of the vitamin shops, and they'll get like the prepackaged, plans that their body might be okay with just one specific pill, but there's 5 or 6 pills in that little baggie for the day.
Yeah. And it goes like, there's foundational ones we like versus, what you see in these packages. Because again, people don't need all these different supplements if your body doesn't really need them, right? You maybe certain things your body's absorbing properly from food to where you could say, hey, I'm eating this and I'm getting this in my food. Then it's like, why are you taking that supplement, right? And you hear, for example, like vegans get so much nutrients from spinach and stuff too, but they lack B12. And it's because they're not eating meat. That's the only real place to get it. So it's one of those things, like, yeah, they got a lot of nutrients, so they don't think they have any real issue here. But do they need to take a full B complex if they're getting a lot of these in other ways? No, they could just, substitute with with B12 directly. So it's like things like that people need to learn. Again, it's all about education. That's what we're trying to do on these podcasts. And, we're always here to help.
So, we're talking about the B complex and talking about the B vitamins. I think just about everybody that listens to this podcast already knows my night routine with my vitamins, the ones that I take at night. Would you recommend me taking a B12 for energy, or even a B complex at night, or move that one to the morning?
Definitely in the morning, unless you work at night and running a marathon during the night. Yeah, definitely B vitamins you want to take in the morning. So, I mean, some people, vitamin D works good in the morning. Other people, you take vitamin D, you want to go to bed. For me, I take vitamin D before bed, same with zinc. Both of them make me want to sleep. And I just know, like, it's kind of off the shelf because you don't hear a lot about it taking it at night. But I always recommend, hey, if I'm going to take, or, my friends and family, they're going to take D3, K2, and zinc. I tell them take it at night to see if it'll help with their sleep. Because a lot of people have sleep issues, so it works for that. So that's why I always recommend it in that way. But again, some people feel better taking D3 in the morning. But for sure, B complex, you want to take that in the morning. So
got it.
So you want to take actually what you need. So testing lets you personalize this. It saves you time, money, and frustration, and gets you better results. Again, I understand some people do not want to spend the money on testing. So you can buy supplements, but you may be taking supplements that you do not need. And you may be spending a lot of money just on supplements, and then you're on a long term because you have no clue if they're helping, if they're not helping. Yeah, you could go by how you feel, but that's not always your optimal range. You won't know, right? You could take 4,000 IU of vitamin D, 3 K2. I take that, and it got my levels after 6 months up to like in the 60s. But how would I know it's optimal if I didn't test, right? I would have just been, oh, well, it's working good. But what if I test and I was at like 40 and I really need 8,000 IUs a day?
No, yeah.
You're not going to know till you test.
Exactly.
So, and two, I'm very paranoid when it comes to my health and how my body's going to react. And I want to live a long life, especially for my family. And so when I look at these things, it's like, well, I don't want to damage my body either. So again, that's where testing comes into play. I don't want toxicity from supplements. So again, you don't have to waste a lot of money. You could test, and there's cost-effective solutions out there. And you don't have to run every test, but at least there's certain tests I run yearly, and that's usually for my family is organic acid test, D3, omega-3, and we'll go through this stuff. We kind of touch on it all, but I would suggest yearly testing stuff, same with hormones and stuff like that too as we get older. So look, this isn't about chasing trends like we talked about. It's about giving your body the core tools it needs to run well. So like we always say, food's the foundation, right? Nutrition's everything. Supplements are your reinforcement. And together they help you feel energized, focused, and resilient. And they're not there just to help you get by.
All right. I'm not going to lie. I didn't think I'd care this much about vitamins, but now I'm thinking, yeah, maybe I've been maybe I've been coasting on fumes. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Oh, it's how it is, man. It's a lot of people don't know. And a lot of people, again, we feel fine. We think we're doing good, but are we? That's where real change starts. Awareness leads to action, and that's what we're getting warmed up. So let's kind of talk on what we need more than food. So let's initially talk about different vitamins here, core supplements. So the one we always say, let's start with the multivitamin. That's a big one I tell everybody, at least start with multivitamin.
Yeah, that's my, that would be my go-to, to be honest.
Because I think, multivitamin at least has usually, you have to have a quality multivitamin too, because there's a lot of multivitamins that don't include a lot of stuff, right? Other ones have minerals and stuff in it. Other multivitamins don't. Some multivitamins have like whole foods within them.
Yeah.
Beads and all that stuff too. It all depends on the product, but, we could always kind of provide what we use. So the multivitamins like your daily backup. It's not one nutrient, it's a bundle. So a good multi includes things like vitamins A, B complex, C, D, E, K plus. They usually have minerals like zinc, magnesium, selenium, iodine, which are awesome for your thyroid. So these nutrients help your body make energy, regulate hormones, detox waste, protect your brain, and more. So again, like zinc, magnesium, selenium, iodine, again, all great for your thyroid. So something to keep in mind, having thyroid issues, little sluggish thyroid, make sure you get on multivitamin to support you, those deficiencies. Let's discuss how it works. Again, these are tools your body uses every day for your system to keep running. Think of them like spark plugs for your cells. Without them, everything slows down, energy production, digestion, mood, even your immune response. So in food comparison, right, we always hear about supplements, but let's talk about this same multivitamin. So to get the same coverage as a good multivitamin, you need to eat 3 to 4 ounces of beef liver for B12. I'm not eating beef liver.
Maybe in a pill form, but not like that. Yeah.
So you need 3, again, all these we'll be talking about here are what you need just to get the same in the multivitamin. So 3 to 4 ounces of beef liver for B12, 2 to 3 Brazilian nuts for selenium, which isn't bad, 6 to 8 ounces of beef or a half a cup of pumpkin seeds for zinc, plus tons of leafy greens, seafood, and pasture eggs every single day. And even then, there's no guarantee you're absorbing it all.
Okay. But can I just take one of those cheap vitamins from the store, like the big bottles you get for like $10?
Well, that's the thing. Cheap multis usually have poor quality ingredients your body doesn't absorb well. You have methylated B vitamins, chelated minerals, and 0 artificial colors or fillers. Otherwise, you're just making expensive urine. How many times do you see that? It's just coming right out.
No, exactly. Now, and that's what I was going to say. Those are some of the key things that I would, if anybody's buying supplements, that's one of the things that I would recommend for anybody to take a look at, to make sure that it's methylated, chelated, in 0 artificial colors.
Yeah. And a different podcast, we kind of explain the damages of artificial colors. So they're damaging to the body. So the next one, again, all we're talking about here today is what we consider foundational support. And, we always, if you're my family or friend, I'm always going to recommend, hey, at least start on the foundation package of these nutrients, these supplements.
Where do I lie? Is it family or friend, or am I in the middle?
Friend. From friend. For me. All right. So another good one is, I always tell people, is vitamin D3, K2. So what a lot of people don't know, they hear the word vitamin, but vitamin D is actually a hormone that affects your bones, mood, immune system, and even inflammation. Again, vitamin D is a hormone. So prior to all this nutrition, did you know vitamin D is a hormone?
No, I actually, shout out to my buddy at work. I actually told him that. I was like, vitamin D is actually a hormone. He's like, why don't they just call it a hormone? I was like, I don't know. I was like, you're asking me a good question that I don't even know the answer to.
Yeah, we'll get back to you on that.
Yeah.
But here's the twist. It doesn't work well on its own. It needs vitamin K2 to guide calcium into your bones and away from places it shouldn't be, like in your arteries. So that's why I hear too is so many people taking high doses of vitamin D3 by itself. And I asked them, do you do a CT scan of your heart, the calcium score test, to find out? Because they're taking, like I said, 50,000 IUs a day, 100,000 every couple of days. And I was like, that's going to just, stick itself to your arteries, heart, whatever, at least get your heart scanned. It's usually like a $50 test. You could pay out of pocket and you could schedule at your local hospital or your local clinic. So don't hesitate to reach out to, your physician and stuff. Ask them about calcium heart score test. Again, it's cheap, $50, but at least if you have calcification in your arteries or any blockages. So definitely worth the test and recommendation. So how it works, D3 helps you absorb calcium. K2 tells your body where to put it. And this is a lot new, the whole vitamin D3, K2 thing over the last 5 or so years. You're hearing more about it, especially in the last year or so. Because recommendation was always just take vitamin D3.
Yes.
And I think it led to people getting blockages and stuff.
I actually read that today. I've seen a post feed about that. And it's like, people are kind of freaking out. They were like, hey, I've been taking vitamin D3 for such a long time. Why do I got to add to K2? And then there was a reply like, well, one of the vitamin D3 builds up the calcium and vitamin 2 kind of puts them away in the correct spot. And they were like, wait, so why aren't they put together? And it's just, these are the new studies. As time gets better and, technology gets advanced, it's like, we really see what's truly out there, what garbage is out there.
Yeah. And I think when it comes to that calcium heart score, I did mine. I mean, I thought I was going to have at least some kind of calcification as I'm getting older. And luckily mine came back at 0. But then I was doing more research on it. And then I got 2 different groups that were complaining about their tests and their results. And I found out that a lot of people that were vegan had, you want to be like 1,000 and under. And 1,000 is even risky. I was 0. But you want to lower the number, the better. So over 1,000, it's more concern. And you only need to do the test once in your life. And people that were strong vegans for the last 20 years or their whole life, their scores were in the 3,300, 3,500, 4,000, almost like major blockages. And I heard that and I was like, but then our government tells us, oh, be vegan, buy all these plant-based stuff. It's not always good for you. So again, you might be a vegan. Let's say you're a vegan and I eat just carnivore, and I could have the perfect blood work, and you could be a vegan, have the perfect blood work and heart scan and all that. And then I could switch to vegan and I get a lot of calcification. Again, it's individualized. You have to test for you specifically. So again, don't try a specific diet, do testing and find out what your body needs and then go from there. If not, just waste and you're damaging your body and you don't even know it. You think you're eating healthy and you're not. So in comparison, how can we get vitamin D3 and K2 based on food? So to match 5,000 IU of vitamin D, you need 15 ounces of wild salmon. Again, I don't eat fish.
Same.
I just don't like the texture. I don't like soft, mushy. I just don't. I can't do it.
The wife loves fish.
I just can't do it, man. I just can't. Other thing would be 20 eggs.
With these prices? Jeez, I don't know, man.
What would 20 eggs cost versus a D3 supplement?
Gosh, yeah. No, I get that, yeah.
Or the full body sun exposure for 30 minutes daily, but that's only if you work near the equator, not wearing sunscreen, and you have to have light skin. So that's D3. So D3, again, that's 15 ounces of wild salmon or 20 eggs to get 5,000 IU a day of D3. So for K2, you need 1 tablespoon of natto, which is fermented soy, 3 or 4 egg yolks, or a big wedge of aged grass-fed cheese. And I'm not a aged cheese person. Can't stand the smell. The mold from aged cheese is pretty bad.
From what I know from aged cheese, it's the longer it's been aged, it has less lactose. So it's more like a lactose-free.
Yeah, but it's like you eating a piece of chalk. Have you ever had cheese?
Maybe. I was gonna say, well, I don't know if I've ever had chalk or that cheese. So I guess we'll find out.
Yeah, chalk's not too bad.
So being outside isn't enough for vitamin D. I thought if I got some sun, I was good.
Yeah, especially you, right? You're doing a lot of walking, thinking your vitamin D levels are good. And that's what we need to test. You need to try it out. Don't take D for a while. Be out in the sun a lot. I mean, your tank top and your little tight shorts. Delivering mail.
My Daisy Dukes. But see, that's the thing, though. We live here in the Midwest that one day it could be sunny and beautiful, and the next day it's overcast. Even though some people do get sunburned with overcast, I just feel like some bodies almost need the direct sun.
Yeah, for sure. And two, I remember seeing research too, to where people were doing, like they were laying, again, tell your body makes, your vitamin D is the only vitamin that your body can make. But you have to be in the sun to do it. But I read one time where people were, like, especially seeing integrative health, like one of us on the coaching side, they were, say they suntan every day. And one was like suntan. The other one were they were roofers in like Florida and they didn't wear shirts or anything. And they were totally burnt from the sun and stuff and tested and their vitamin D levels were low.
Well, yeah. Well, I've been working at the post office for 9 years. And before I even took my health serious, then I started, I would see my regular doctor and then I started getting blood work. And that's when I found out, hey, my vitamin D level is low, which to me it was shocking. And even my family, they were like, how? You work outside. Like, my body isn't built to make enough vitamin D for myself, or from getting it from the sun.
Yeah, so you might make some, but most people don't make nearly enough, If you work indoors, live in a cloudy place, or wear sunscreen, you're probably low. That's why testing and supplementing can make the huge difference, And I think you're seeing it now, but
I notice a difference with the supplements I'm taking.
Yeah, so the next one we'll talk about is vitamin C. This is your body's fire extinguisher. It fights damage from stress, supports your immune system, and helps your body build collagen. So a lot of people don't know. It even helps you absorb iron. Again, another fact that a lot of people don't know. So let's talk about how it works. It neutralizes free radicals, those unstable molecules that cause inflammation and aging. So we hear this a lot is, I eat oranges and I'm fine, but is it enough for your body? So in food comparison, 1 orange gives you 70 milligrams of vitamin C. 1 cup of bell peppers, that equals 120 milligrams of vitamin C. A high quality supplement gives you between 500 to 1,000 milligrams. And what you need is usually 8 to 10 servings of vitamin C rich foods to match. So again, 1 orange is 70 milligrams, cup of peppers is a cup of bell peppers is 120 and average supplements 500 to 1,000. And I usually take, 3 to 4,000 a day just to help me function. I know I haven't been sick because of it.
Well, yeah, well, same. So if I eat a couple oranges, I'm set, right?
Yeah. Let's see. You need 10 oranges to get you to 700.
I mean, it might. I guess I'll have to throw in a couple of bell peppers in there too, right?
Yeah, you have to. So yeah, if you're healthy and low stress, maybe. But if you're playing awful cold, recovering from surgery, or under chronic stress, your body burns through vitamin C like fuel. Again, it comes out in your urine and stuff too.
Yeah.
So that's where supplements help you take the load off. So if you take 1,000 milligrams of vitamin D in the morning, usually by the afternoon, you peed it all out. So you have to take it again. So that's why it's like if your body's stressed, it's going to get rid of it.
No, and that's one thing too. It's like for even like the multi has it in there, and it's like there's one specific supplement that if your body has enough of, you're gonna pee it out, which is good. It's not. This is not a strong medication. It's a supplement.
Yeah.
So if your body doesn't need it or want it, it's gonna reject it.
Yep. And same it goes for a lot of your other supplements that you're taking too, B12 and stuff. The levels go so high on B12 and a lot of people max it out with high optimal levels. So it's not supposed to cause any damage or anything too. And, it's supposed to be beneficial long term. So that's another thing we'll talk about is B complex. So the B vitamins like B1, B2, B6, B12, and folate. Again, if you go for normal blood work, they're usually going to test your B12, but not your B1, B2, B6, or folate. So keep that in mind. So I hear all the time, I'm good on Bs. And I was like, well, let me look at your lab work. It's like, they only test your B12. It's not enough. So these are the crew that turns your food into energy. So again, that B1, B2, B6, B12, folate, that's what makes the food into energy. They also help with mood, brain function, detoxification. You burn through them quickly when you're stressed, drink alcohol, or take certain medications. So to understand how it works, they help with your mitochondria. They make ATP for cellular energy. And they're also needed to make serotonin and dopamine, your feel-good brain chemicals. So a lot of people, I say, I helped a lot of people I know taking a B complex when they have bad anxiety and they're in that depressive state. It's like, well, are you depleted in B vitamins? They're like, I don't know. Like, at least try a B complex, and see where it goes. And that's what I do. I always feeling down or anything, have a B complex, take that for a few weeks and see how you feel. Again, it takes a little while to get in your system. Some people feel they change overnight. Other people maybe take a couple weeks, but see how it works on anxiety and kind of depressive symptoms. So in comparison on getting these via food instead of supplements, you need, again, 1 serving of beef liver, which will make only 70 micrograms of B12. That's very low. 2 cups of raw spinach, 200 micrograms of folate. 1 egg is 10 micrograms of biotin. So you'll need to eat all of these daily and absorb them well. Plus, some people have genetic variants to make it hard to use these forms in food, such as, the methylated gene issues, not THFR. Those people, are usually low on Bs and it causes high homocysteine. So again, Bs play a big role in your body.
Do I need to take each B vitamin separately or just one pill?
A good B complex covers them all in the right forms, like methylated and methylcobalamin. That way your body can use them right away. No conversions needed. You want to stay away from cyanocobalamin, which is derived from cyanide. Yes, the poison. It is usually found in cheaper supplement brands. So if you do have a multivitamin or B complex, again, if you have multivitamin and it has the cyanocobalamin in it, throw it in the garbage. It's derived from cyanide.
It's garbage.
Yeah. So rat poison in your supplement.
That's gross. That's nasty. I don't know. So then just for me to get a better understanding for myself, take a B complex and then multi in the morning and then see how I feel.
Yes.
Okay.
For sure.
So let's discuss how it works, omega-3s. They get into your cell membranes and help with everything from mood, memory, and joint flexibility and hormone balance. So in food comparison, To match 2,000 milligrams omega-3 supplement, you need to eat 1 serving of sardines or mackerel, and I can't do sardines.
I don't like sardines or fish. My wife does eat them, and she only kind of eats them more when she's with my father-in-law, and he loves seafood.
Yep, and just one thing to know, if you want high-quality products when it comes to fish, because a lot of fish can contain mercury, so you're getting into heavy metal toxicity stuff, and same with junk omega-3 supplements that, you buy them and they've been sitting out too long. They're supposed to be refrigerated, and these weren't, or, they're many years old, or they got delivered and sitting in the sun for, 2 days.
Like me being a delivery service, like I've delivered, it could have been either medicine, supplements, or even like fish oil. And now that I think about it, it's kind of gross. If they're on vacation and they never put like a hold mail, the package is going to get delivered, and it's always half the time it's not even in a box. So it might be like in one of those little like plasticky bags. And I know the sun will beat on it, and it could only get so warm for so long. So it's like, I don't know if they'll still take them, but I'm very cautious for stuff like that. If it says, to set it in a dark room or to have them chilled in the fridge, do that.
Yep. So that's why, like, if I have fish oil, there's certain kind of supplements and stuff I always throw in the refrigerator. So my omega-3s are always in the refrigerator. But so to match 2,000 milligrams omega-3, you need 1 serving of sardines or mackerel, or 5 ounces of wild salmon every single day. And plant-based sources like flax or chia, your body barely converts those to active form.
And like I said, I don't eat much fish at all. So is that bad?
It means you're probably low on omega-3s. Again, most people are. That's why I always recommend testing omega-3 index and supplementing if needed. The anti-inflammatory benefits are massive. So, yeah, it's an easy test to do. And it's worth knowing your omega-3 to omega-6 and see how inflammation is in your body. So definitely do it. The other thing to do is, like we talk about, get a good high-quality omega-3 supplement. And if you need help with that, then please reach out. So another one is a good one, zinc, which is a mineral your body needs to fight infections, heal wounds, balance hormones, and support your sense of taste and smell. It always helps with skin health and even testosterone. So I would say foundational, the vitamin C, the D3K2, and zinc, taking that like religiously for the last year, and I haven't been sick at all. Like usually I would get sick every, February from allergies and all this stuff and these colds going around, especially, family and stuff working in schools. You would think, oh, I'm going to be sick a lot, but I haven't been. Same with my daughters and stuff. So
yeah, I've added I feel like to my night supplement routine, I'm either adding or removing one that may make me feel better, it may not, but I've added vitamin C for like the past couple months, and there's been a cold that's gone through the house, and I was the only one that missed it. So it's like, it has to be working, like I put, faith in Jesus, but also my supplements,
Yeah. So it's one of those things that prior you may not know you've been low. Now you're high. It's easy. You maybe get sick or a little side effect of a sickness, but your body fights it and you're back to normal, next day. So let's understand how zinc works. Zinc activates enzymes, build proteins, and help your immune cells respond properly to virus and injuries. So in food comparison, 3 ounces of oyster equals 75 milligrams, and you won't be seeing me eat oysters. So yeah, how about you?
No, it I don't know. It's just something about the slime. I don't know. I can't. That's not. No way, Jose.
Yeah. 3 ounces of oysters equal 75 milligram. 6 ounces of beef equal 12 milligram. A quarter cup of pumpkin seeds equals 6 milligram. But to match the typical supplement dose of 15 to 30 milligram, you need to eat a lot of oysters or red meat daily, or even then your body might not absorb all that you eat from a lot of grains, which block absorption.
So I've never had an oyster in my life. Does that mean I'm screwed?
Not at all, but it probably means you're not getting enough zinc unless you're taking a supplement. So again, a supplement can help fill that gap, especially during cold and flu season, or if you have low testosterone, skin issues, or poor eating. But you are taking a zinc supplement, right?
I am.
Yeah, and I think that one is like 30 milligram. So see how this all adds up. Supplements aren't magic, but they're a practical way to give your body the raw materials it needs to function its best. When paired with real food, they become powerful tools.
Hey Dan, real quick, let me just back it up just a bit for the zinc. On there, you said that it helps when you have low testosterone.
Yes. Yep. It will help when you have low testosterone. So that's a big thing.
So not only it's a benefit, for your body, but it's also, it's more little, like, it's not just a certain thing, but it's also, fighting the cold during flu season, helps you to raise your testosterone, and skin issues and pore healing.
Yes, exactly. And you got to think too, a lot of people get scared. I hear testosterone. It's kind of like hearing when women say, "Oh, I don't want to lift any weights because I don't want to be muscular." That's not the case, right? Every male and female needs testosterone in their body. So your body's going to process testosterone like it's supposed to. It's not a steroid. So
would you recommend zinc? Is there like a gender you would prefer it to go be more or equal?
No, equal.
Okay.
Equal.
Perfect.
So now that we looked at the core supplements, let's get into the thing that changes the game really is functional lab testing. I always push you to do it, right? Let's do lab testing. This is where you stop guessing what your body needs and you can get actual data. Again, I love metrics. I love seeing those numbers and not blindly having people waste their money on supplements when they don't need them. So you find out how well you're doing with nutrients, how your metabolism's running, how your brain, gut are functioning, and what you're running low in or being overworked right before symptoms even show up. A lot of people don't know, like, I feel fine, and then you test and you find out, hey, you know what? You're not fine.
You're not fine. Or the other one, I don't feel good. You go to your doctor, you're fine, you're okay, but you still don't feel right. You're still off.
Yeah, and then and speaking on that, we're not just talking about basic blood work at a checkup because they don't test for that. So these tests go deeper. They catch the gaps between you're not sick and you're thriving. Again, we want to have optimal bodies, not just average bodies. So one thing, let's start with the organic acid test, or it's better known as OAT test for short. Again, this is one of my favorite tests. It takes urine. It's a urine test that looks at over 70 different markers related to vitamins and mineral levels. It'll also check your energy production, so how well your mitochondria is working. Detox stress and antioxidant use. So your neurotransmitter function, which is your dopamine and serotonin. And it'll also do your yeast and bacteria in the gut. It gives you a real-time look at how your body is functioning on a cellular level, which you will not get from a normal blood work.
Wait, you could get all that from a urine test? I thought only blood work could tell you stuff.
Right? It surprises a lot of people. Urine is actually a goldmine for showing what your body is using and excreting. This tells us a lot of what's happening behind the scenes. For example, if we see high levels of a marker called oxygenate, that usually means you're low in usually vitamin B6. If it's methylmalonate is high, it can mean that you're low in B12. Again, you would not get this off your normal blood work. So again, these things don't show up in standard labs until they have full-blown deficiencies. And when you have full-blown deficiencies, at that point, I mean, you're taking your body, it's broken.
No, for sure. So it's kind of like checking your engine, while the car's still running before it breaks down.
Yep. Exactly. It gives you early warning signs and also confirms if you're doing well, which is just as important. A lot of people don't do it. And they think I'm feeling fine, or they're, hey, yeah, I have a little trouble here and there. And then they wait till they really have a health issue before they get it checked. Again, when is your health important to you? I mean, it's individualized. It's up to you if you really care about your body and you want to live a long, healthy life. Again, when does it matter to you? So next up, the next test would be the omega-3 index. This test measures how much omega-3 fat, specifically EPA and DHA, you have inside your red blood cells. These fat reduce inflammation, support brain function, and protect your heart. The test gives you a score of 0 to 12%. And remember, your brain lives off fat.
Okay. I've heard omega-3 is good, but what's a good number on this test?
So great question. You want to be between 8 and 12%. Most people in the US are around 3 to 5%, which is low. That means their cells are more prone to inflammation, slow recovery, mood swings, brain fog, and joint stiffness. So here's the kicker. People often think they're getting enough omega-3s because they eat fish once in a while or take a basic supplement. But unless you test, you don't know what actually is in your cells.
So this isn't like a cholesterol test. It's looking at what's actually inside your cells?
Exactly. It shows you what your body has been working on over the past few months, not just what you had and you ate yesterday. And the test comes back low. We know it's time to increase your omega-3 intake from either fish or high-quality supplement, then retesting. I usually do this around every 3 to 6 months. So now we'll talk again about vitamin D. So this is the probably most tested vitamin, but most people still must misunderstand what normal is. And nowadays, a lot of insurance companies aren't even paying for a vitamin D test. If your vitamin D test has been low before, I think they'll pay through insurance to have it tested again. But for the most part, insurance doesn't even want to pay for a D3 test. And again, your doctor might say 30 nanograms per milliliter is okay. So that's usually basic on blood work. You'll see the level 30. If you're 30 and under, they'll say increase your D supplement. If you come back exactly on the borderline of low on 30, your doctor may say you're fine. So, but from a functional perspective, we're aiming for 50 to 80 nanograms per milliliter. That is where you really see benefits for mood, immune function, bone strength, and inflammation.
I've actually had mine tested, and I think it was like 28 or something. My doc said it was normal. So that's not great.
Not great at all. It's technically not dangerous, but it's definitely not optimal. Think of it like your phone battery. If it turns red at 20%, wouldn't you rather have it at 80%?
Of course, I would use it less. So that's exactly, that's how my body felt. It didn't feel 100%, It's like, and I honestly don't think anybody out there is at 100%. There's something, if they're doing everything right, they're taking their supplements, there could be a deficiency that they don't know about.
Yeah, so because vitamin D supports over 200 genes in the body. I mean, that's how important it is. Low levels can mean more colds, fatigue, brain fog, bone loss, even mood issues. And it's so easy to fix, but only if you know what you're starting. So again, during that pandemic, that was one of the studies done to where a lot of people that did pass away from the pandemic, all the people that were tested usually had low vitamin D levels. And they said, that was one of the things later on, they said, those people that increased their vitamin D got through the virus quicker, and less they were in the hospital.
So if I get tested and I'm low, what's the move then?
Usually a daily D3 K2 supplement, so 2,000 to 5,000 IU is good for most adults, and ideally paired with K2 because that helps direct calcium properly. You retest after 3 months and adjust from there. The one and the easiest nutrients to correct once you have the data. So here's a takeaway. Functional lab testing isn't overcomplicating your health. It's about personalizing it. Once you know what you're low in, you can stop wasting money on things you don't need and focus on your energy where it counts. So if you're tired all the time, could be a B vitamin or mitochondrial issue. Always catch colds, could be low vitamin D or zinc. Same with C. Feeling off emotionally could be omega-3 or neurotransmitter imbalances. So functional testing makes that all clear.
Okay, real talk. How do you even get these tests? Do I need a doctor to order them for me?
So you could go through an integrative health practitioner here at Mindful Objective. Some are at-home kits like a simple urine collection or finger prick. Others can be through a functional clinic. And they're not expensive as people think, especially when you compare it to how much people are spending trying different supplements blindly. And we do what we can to keep our lab testing low. And again, we know people don't have a lot of money, especially in this economy. So we have special packages built, and we do what we can to help out the community.
Yeah, I probably spent more than that on random vitamins from the grocery store, and half the time I don't even finish the bottle.
I'm with you on that. It's super common. I've been there. But once you test, you're not guessing anymore. You know what your body's asking for and how to support it in a smart, targeted way. So, for me, you might take vitamin C, for example, and 500 milligram makes your levels quality high, good, optimal. And for me, it takes 4 grams, so 500 milligrams versus 4 grams, or maybe you're 1 gram, I'm 4 grams. Again, I wouldn't know if I didn't test. And same with D3, K2. There's a lot of people that take it for a month and they go to the doctor, get retested, and their level didn't go up or went up 1 point, and they're upset like, oh, this doesn't work. And then the doctor will give an injection of a crazy amount. You just need to give it a few months, 3 to 6 months. It usually takes 6 months to be in the optimal range. So again, it's not overnight. Give your body some time. So if you're tired of taking things and not knowing if they're working, get tested. If you're tired or feeling off, but being told your labs are normal, get tested. Functional tests aren't about fear. They're about clarity, confidence, and getting results. And I'm a big metrics person, so I always, I give the option to my clients. I recommend these tests, or, you have the option to, take these kind of supplements. I mean, it's really up to you. It's you're in control here. I'm here to help guide you on the right path. But initially, I always would go for, let's test. Let's look at that test. Let's see what we need to unravel. And sometimes we go down a rabbit hole because this test produces this. And then we find out, hey, you're really deficient way over here. And you never even knew that, right? You could think, oh, you're fine taking, oranges and stuff, and find out your body's not absorbing protein. Your body's not absorbing vitamin C. So we have to increase that and then, go from there.
All right. I officially want to pee in a cup and send it to the lab now. I never thought I'd say that, huh?
Yeah. And that's how it starts. Get curious, get testing, and get ahead of your health. So we talked about the why. We looked at the nutrients, how they matter, how to test for them, and why food alone is not enough. Now let's bring it all together in one something that's actionable. How to build a realistic supplement routine that fits your life. So the goal isn't to take 30 pills a day. It's to cover the basis without being overwhelmed. So think of it as building a core toolkit, right? So start with the basics. A high quality multivitamin to cover trace vitamins and minerals. Vitamin D3 and K2 based on your test results. And omega-3, especially if you don't eat fish. A B complex, particularly if you're stressed, on medication, low energy. Another one would be vitamin C and zinc for immune support and cellular repair. And again, helps with testosterone and hormones. So these 5 or 6 supplements form a foundation that supports 90% of what your body does every day.
So it's not about having a cabinet full of stuff. It's just a few essentials that make the biggest impact.
Exactly. And it's more powerful when you choose forms that your body actually uses, like methylated B12, magnesium glycinate, and D3 instead of D2. A lot of doctors, if you're low on D3, a lot of doctors will give a prescription to vitamin D2, and then your body will convert it to D3. But for the price and stuff, you could just find a good high quality D3 K2 supplement.
Yeah. I really hope my friends, families, the same way that I did my studying when I would hear podcasts and it would say, the methylated B12, the magnesium glycinate, they pause it, go back, heard it, wrote what we're saying, or wrote what I've heard in podcasts, just because this could be a lot for some people, and it's like, as long as, they're taking the correct steps, taking their time, investing in themselves.
Yeah, so it got to match your lifestyle. So are you stressed out or running on empty? You'll burn through B vitamins, magnesium, and vitamin C faster, kind of we touched on. So you're not sleeping well or dealing with mood swings, you might benefit from magnesium, omega-3s, adaptogens, and same with D3, K2, and zinc. Eating clean but plant-based, you're going to need extra B12, iron, and zinc. So the goal isn't to follow someone else's routine, it's to build one that meets your body where it is today.
It makes sense. Mine would probably look different from someone who lifts weights every day or is dealing with hormone levels.
Yeah, exactly. So it's not a one size fits all. Like I said, it's personalization is key. So again, don't forget to test. A supplement plan guided by real data is always more effective than one built on guessing. So low in omega-3s, increase your fish oil. Low vitamin D, adjust your D3K2 dosage. Signs of poor detox or neurotransmitter functions on your oat. You'll know exactly what the target is. Test, tweak, and retest. So start simple, build gradually, and most importantly, be consistent. We said this during the prepping podcast. It's not overnight. So again, start simple, build gradually. That's the most important thing. Be consistent. So supplement won't change your life overnight, but over weeks or months, the difference adds up. Keep your routine simple enough to stick to it. Personalized for your needs, flexible as your body evolves.
So I don't need to go all in from day one. I just need to start somewhere and build from there.
Yeah. And how many people go all in day one and then quit? You see that with fitness. You see that with everything. It's like, oh, yeah. I'm gun-ho. I want to care about my health. Right? January 1st comes around. They care about their health. 2 weeks, they're overwhelmed. They give up, and that's it. But they go to their physician, and here's an MRI you need to go through. Now you need a CT scan. Now you see a specialist. You need to scope down your stomach. You need this. You need this. They don't hesitate.
No, because it's somebody with the white lab coat. You
Yeah.
know?
Well, if you need me to wear a white lab coat to get you guys to be healthy, let me know.
That would be a pretty cool sign. Yeah, like a doing like a FaceTime or something with you, and you just have it just walking around the house, just
Yeah. So you nailed it. Start with 1 or 2 gaps, you're not covering. Again, minimum, I would tell you, Geraldo, like first thing, take a multivitamin, start from there. But once you feel the difference, it's easier to stay consistent. It's like when you get gung-ho into health and start going gym or start losing weight or start really working out, you just naturally eat better, right?
I agree. Yeah, because you don't want to be doing everything in your power to stay fit, but you're still throwing in junk food in it.
Yeah. So make adjustments based on real feedback from your body and from test results. So there you have it. Nutrient gaps are common, but they're not inevitable. With a little planning, some simple testing, a few core supplements, you could feel better, think sharper, and show stronger every day. It's not about taking everything. It's about taking the right things with purpose, consistency, and intention.
I'm walking away with a plan and way more confident about what's going in my body. This was legit.
Yeah, and that's what it's all about, making science simple and steps doable. So
honestly, this makes me want to rethink my whole kitchen setup. Like what's actually in my fridge versus what should be in my fridge.
Yeah, that's the kind of reflection we want, right? Foundational nutrition isn't trendy. It's timeless. It's not about gimmicks. It's about supporting your body so it could show up one day in and out. So that about wraps it up. Do you have anything else?
As of just a shout out to a friend of mine at work, Castro. He knows my journey that I'm on right now, and there was a supervisor's birthday a couple of days ago at work, and they brought donuts. Somebody had asked me what's my favorite nuts, and I said a donut. But he saw me take the donut. He didn't see me pack it away, but he kind of yelled over across the hall, and he was like, "Hey, a lot of people know me as Jerry, Gerardo and Jerry." And he was like, "Hey, Jerry, aren't you in your health, fitness, and your whole regimen?" I'm like, "Yeah." And I just left it at that. But it's like the next day I told him, "Hey, I wait till after I eat lunch to finally be able to enjoy that specific donut." It's just because I know from what I read, it's like if you're gonna have a heavy sweet, have it after a big meal, because I know, as far as like the sugar and stuff like that, like for like the intake, it's a slow, how do I say it? It's not like a spike up in my sugar level. It's just kind of like a gradual flow up
from the food you ate, the high protein and stuff. Yeah. So again, thanks for tuning into this episode of Real Talk. I hope you're walking away not just with more information, but more clarity and confidence about your health. So quick medical disclaimer, this podcast is for informational, educational purposes only. We do not diagnose, cure, or treat any illness or disease. Again, foundational nutrition isn't about perfection. It's about giving your body the tools it needs to function at its best. Supplements aren't shortcuts, they're strategic support. And when paired with real food, the right testing, and a little consistency, they change how you feel, how you live every single day. Even for all those skeptics out there, or friends of friends, or close friends of mine that feel their health is great, but they don't really know until they test, we'll be coming after you for some testing. So if this episode sparks some questions or got you thinking differently about your routine, we'd love to hear from you. Visit mindfulobjective.com/podcast and fill out the form to submit a show question. Again, we would like to answer your questions on the air, and we do have listener questions that come in, but also just from the website, clients or pre-clients asking certain questions that we'll touch on the air. So share this with a friend, send us your thoughts, or head over to the site to learn more about personalized lab testing and health coaching. Be sure to follow us on social media at Mindful Objective. And what is yours, Geraldo, again?
For my social media, it is my personal one is Ortega Hera, and then my woodworking one, it would be Ortega_works_.
And I'll add that to the show notes.
Thank you. And if you're like me, realizing you've maybe been winging it just a little bit, it's all good. Just start with one thing, one change, one better choice. That's how it begins.
I couldn't said it better. So progress over perfection always. So until next time, be well, stay curious, and take care of that foundation. You only get one body. Build it right. Stay well.